Don't put it back on me, Russell. No, I wasn't even finished.
Good morning, Mike Richards.
Hey, I'm looking for the illustrious Phill Gray from Sports Interaction.
You've got him.
Yeah.
Okay, so just tell me something there, my brother. These numbers, have we changed the golf numbers at all? Have they moved at all overnight? Because we just opened it up. We're looking at Sports Interaction, which, of course, if you're following us, you want to sign up, you want to be part of the Sports Interaction family.
You should if you're not.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to up to $200 match that first bet, and this is a great time to get into it because there's a lot to bet on here in the Open. And if I'm looking overall at the winner, Phill, who is the senior lines manager, it's a very big job. It's very impressive.
Yep.
Have the lines moved at all?
They actually have, and we've seen quite a bit of action right off the bat on Patrick Reed. He opened at 40. We got him down to 30-1 right now. And you figure his last three majors, he's 1, he's 4 and 2, I think. So but there's some serious liability on him. He's got the game and the low ball hitting to do it. Dustin Johnson still. He's come down from 14 at 11-1. You can get him at Top American at 7-1. So there's been a lot of movement. I'm not really seeing the English bets. Justin Rose, he's kind of steadied out at 14-1. So I'm not too worried about him. Some Tiger bets, he's no longer at 3-1 to win every major. He's out at 20-1. So quite a bit on him. Tony Finau as well has actually dropped from 50-1 down to 30-1. So that's an interesting liability.
Well, I guess the one thing too that in doing these lines and doing for golf, as you mentioned, it's not the Tiger Slam era where you basically have no money, or that you have to bet so much to make anything. But really, so many guys on a weekly basis have a chance to win. And when you're playing a links golf course, you're playing Carnoustie. Jean Van de Velde, I guess, all he has to do is
memories.
Get a 6. A 6. And we're going to play that. By the way, I've never really done this beforehand, but if you watch it as it played out, we've got that this morning.
Okay.
And you're going to see, and then they're going to play back and talk to the British announcer. Can't think of his name, but they all sound like this. And as he pulls out the driver, he's like, "Oh, my word. Well, that looks like a mistake." If you had heard the guy, he went, no. Yeah, kind of. Put the big club back in the big and give me a 6 or whatever it was supposed to be. It just on a weekly basis, any of these guys, Rory, a lot of the Europeans, even Sergio, who for the most part, he wins. He won a while ago, but for the most part, it was very disappointing. But Ricky Fowler has been, what was it, last week? He hit a drive that was 458 yards.
Oof.
458.
You can do that with your putter at Carnoustie. It's like those fairways.
Exactly.
It's like going on pavement. Sergio's got no chance. I don't think. I don't think he's got the shoot spot to go around Carnoustie and keep it together. And talking impressions. Now, Mike, if I'm not mistaken, take a look at David Bassel, and if you put one of those old style visors on him, is that not Jean Van der Velde? Come on.
Yeah, you know what? It's not that far away.
Thank you.
And you know what? I got a feeling that he really enjoys that when people say, "You know what?"
I get that all the time.
Yeah, from 60-year-old men.
You look a little bit like John Van de Velde. Can I get you a double?
I like John Rahm a lot this week. I got some lunch money on him. I got him at 28-1 earlier in the week at one of our competitors. So I'm looking to cash that.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, are you allowed to do that? Isn't it? What are you, Donald Trump of the gambling world? You're just making deals and making up the rules as you go along.
That's it.
Hey, Phill. We know you have a lot of love for Tiger, but in all seriousness, of the 4 majors, agree or disagree, the Open Championship is probably his best opportunity to win a major this year, in my opinion.
Well, sure. That argument's put out there, and he's put it out there himself. I still say, I never say he's going to win. I said he could win. Any tournament he enters, whether it's PGA or major, he absolutely could win. Will he win? Probably not, but he certainly could if he put it together for 4 days. At Carnoustie, he's certainly got the creativity. He's Tiger. He's got the stinger back. But is he going to putt on Sunday? And that's where they all win, right? And that's the difference.
Well, as we see, there'll be a lot of action. Dave did the piñata yesterday.
You got it.
And you got Brandon Steele.
That probably surprises you that I do the piñata, Phill?
You got a lot of loonies, Dave. You got a lot of loonies.
Well, it was a toonie, as a matter of fact, just so you know. I mean, he
it
went.
wasn't too many holes.
Oh, he
I
went.
went, I went all in.
He's going all
He's
out.
up in his game. He's up in his game. I was talking to David, and I said, "Summer's over. Football's coming." So I'm ramped up, and we got some special stuff coming up in the fall and this winter, and hopefully we're going to have some great stuff happening with you as well, Mike Richards. Some special offerings. Each time I'm on.
That's exactly what we're thinking. Of course, Mike Richards is now heard every Monday on the Fan 960 in Calgary. So we will have our Calgary friends with us as well. And we started talking about some of the numbers yesterday as they came up, looking at, the AFC Championship with New England, Pittsburgh. I think Houston's got – I talked about Houston. I think there's some real value on that one. But in the NFC Championship, it's interesting. The Rams, you got the Packers third in terms of the monies, but the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC Championship, I don't have a problem, Dave, if I'm putting money back on the Eagles, because I looked at Carson Wentz, who looks like he's way ahead of schedule. I've seen some of the
that's good news for Philly. Yeah.
Oh, they look good, and I see no reason why they wouldn't be heavily favored as an NFC Championship team. I got no problem putting money on them.
I'm really looking forward to the NFL season because like last year, this is going to be a bookie's dream. Because it really is going to be any given Sunday, on most weeks, and it's going to be a coin flip on some of these games. And for a bookie, that's great for us because we see a lot of balanced action. And when we do see some unbalanced action, and we get those upsets like we did last year, we had a record year in percentage hold for NFL. It was in 15 years of doing this, it was our best NFL season ever. And I see the same trend continuing next fall. So really looking forward to NFL.
Hey, Phil, is there any teams that are kind of sneaking out of the woodwork where people are starting to bet a little more than what you had thought, and maybe you on your end had to adjust some numbers? And what would those teams be?
Not really. It's pretty early, but it's for some reason everybody likes Atlanta. And I'm looking at the season wins and over 9, and I've had to cut that. Everybody's on top of that, and I don't know if I see them winning 10 games this year. What about you guys?
Well, in those numbers, if we're talking about in that area, it's interesting when also in terms of the numbers on the Super Bowl, just ahead of Atlanta are the Houston Texans. And again, it's one of those things where I think with health, because we really had obviously a shortened season with those that counted with the Texans, that right now I think there's tremendous value on that team. What is the over-under, by the way, so total of games won for the Houston Texans this year?
It's 8.5, and the juice is on the over. We have seen some action on the over.
Yeah.
Again, do you see them going 9-7? I don't know. It seems kind of a bit of a stretch to me.
Well,
Cleveland is. I'm not Cleveland. Carolina as well. I mean, we've got them at 9. That seems to be the industry standard, and the juice is on the under. Everybody's betting the under. I could see them going 10-6 this year.
It's all about that quarterback too, right? Yeah. For both teams, one being a healthy one being one that, what version of Cam Newton are you going to get when you're betting the Panthers? And when you're talking about the Panthers, that division too, and we'll include this with our conversation previous with the Falcons, the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers, and Tampa's in that division, but not really a threat. Those three teams are going to beat on each other, and a lot of times when you have three good playoff-worthy teams, they split. And when they split, that's probably good for the house, considering that you don't want any of those win totals to go out of whack, do you?
Well, absolutely, yeah. Look at New Orleans at 9.5 right now, and the juice is on the over. But I don't know. I think you're going to see. He's healthy. He's mature. I kind of see Carolina, maybe getting to 11-5 this year. I think, he's arguably the best athlete in the NFL. I mean, so he's mature. He's come along. I see Carolina having a good year. Nine seems awfully low to me.
And let's not forget, if those who are perhaps watching for the first time or listening on the podcast for the first time, listening to Sports Interaction, we're talking about the NFL. We're just obviously talking this week about what we're going to see in the Open Championship. But, of course, CFL numbers. Don't forget about the CFL numbers. I always like to see when that's busy. And I got to be honest, Dave, I think each and every week, depending what that matchups are, you can see some real value in betting on the CFL, at least to my liking.
And I shouldn't, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that we don't do too well on CFL. So you hit the nail on the head on there, Mike. There's some funky numbers in the CFL, especially in money lines, and you can get some real good dogs, especially on the road, and we get hit on those. I have to move those quite a bit, and so breaking even in the CFL is good for the books. We don't make a lot of money on it, and look at that. Phill coming, everybody's lining up to get a hit at him. What do you guys think of that? Should I put a prop up where he goes?
You know what?
That'd be a very good idea.
That's a better idea than those that wanted to put up the prop numbers on Johnny Football, because that was based on a quarterback and how many starts he gets, how many snaps he
Nobody's
gets.
talking about where he's actually going because
that was silly. I mean, all those props came out and they said, will he have 3,000 yards? Will he have 20 touchdowns? And then the disclaimer at the bottom of the bet was must start game one for action.
Yeah, right. So
okay.
I would put up, because I think if he's got a chance to play, Dave. We just saw him play in the indoor football league yesterday for the Allen Wranglers. If he's going to go up there, he would cause quite a stir. And I got news for you. Edmonton's in trouble. So if they're going to look for a wideout like that and throw the ball, I would definitely put some props up there on T.O. Absolutely, I would.
There was a YouTube video out there. Wasn't he still running like a 4.40?
Well,
the guy's 44 years old. I mean,
this is what you said that yesterday, Dave.
Yeah, but you know what, Phil? The only thing I'm scared about it is it's a home movie, and as you know, you could definitely fudge the that could have been a 4.35 yard run. You know what I mean? That could have been a 4.30 instead of a 4.
Just so you know, Russell's done a 4.10.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think Steve Rock runs it for?
See, he's not getting out the blocks. No. First of all, he'd have to put down the drink. He's got to put down the drink first.
Put that prop up.
Yeah.
He's not going to like that.
No, he's not going to like that.
Hey, Phil, final question from me. On the verge of hearing confirmation of the Raptors-Spurs trade. Are you guys dealing with any numbers as far as adjustments for the Raptors numbers or the Spurs numbers on any level, be it wins or percentages of winning a division, a conference, etc.? Anything change at Sports Interaction because of this trade that is on the verge of formally being announced?
I kind of missed the mark this morning. This is the one day out of 365 that there isn't a game on Donbest for one of the four major sports. But I got up and I saw the TSN news, and we took the NBA futures down right away. I still don't think they should be any less than 25 to 1 to win the NBA championship. But from what I'm reading, some of the books have them down to 7 to 8 to 1 now, which is crazy.
That's nuts.
I'll wait till the dust settles. I'm probably going to open them back up. But no, depending, we're going to get lopsided action for sure. But I'm pretty confident to take them at 25 to 1 to win the NBA. And really they should be 50 to 1. I mean, they can't beat half a dozen teams in the NBA in a 7-game series. So.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Hey, Phil, great job today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
That is Phil Gray. He's the Senior Lines manager.